Hey, Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching America's #1 cure for insomnia, the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast. And with me are
William White, a.k.a. Ninja Panda 1980.
And Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews.
Jupi Chan, also known as Ninja Jupi, or you can just call me Wendy. Now, I will turn this over to the one, the only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man who might be visiting the new studio soon. I don't know. Johnny Rodriguez.
Johnny Rodriguez.
all right, guys. So today we're going to be going over the results of AEW All In London, which may not be there next year. And
there is no May. It isn't.
Yeah, I know, but let the people have the suspense. But anyways, we're gonna go. Yes, everything is great. We're gonna go into AEW All In, and if you guys missed the last video, we were doing our predictions. We're gonna compare who was right, who was wrong, and I guess the whoever loses has to I don't know, break a pane of real glass over Jack Perry. And when he says, dude, what the fuck? That's real glass. Oh, cry me a river.
Oh,
you know
cry
what I
me a
mean?
river.
Yep.
Can we put some gasoline on them too?
Yeah, we'll light them up.
Okay, there we go.
It'd be like
Wait a minute. So that means that person will be the winner. Ah. But that's good for the winner or the loser of this.
yeah. The loser, I don't know. The loser gets to be stuck as being one of MJF's like ballets for like this intros or something.
Okay.
God, no.
The loser has to jump into the crowd like MJF and then get turned right around right after.
Yep. There you go. All right, guys. Let's start her up. We're gonna go real quick with the what do you call it? The 0 hour, what they're calling it nowadays. So we started off with a 16-man tag team match, which consisted of Tommy Billington, Kip Sapien, Rocky Romero, Kyle Fletcher, Leo Rush, Action Andretti, Top Flight, which is Darian, and Darius Martin, with Don Callis being in the background, going up against Jay Lethal, Satman Sin, Anthony Ogogo, Araya Daivari, Private Party, which is Asaya Cassidy and Mark Queen, and the Dark Order, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, Benivo Uno with Sanjay Dutt, and everything. It was a crazy match. The most I remember was the whole thing with Simon Singh, whatever his name is, being the tallest guy going up against Leo Rush, the tallest guy, and no matter they play it up where no matter what Leo Rush did, like it was nothing. It's like what is this little bug that's bugging me, that kind of stuff. So they played that off, and of course the flippy guys did the flippy shit, and the power guys did the power shit, and then a lot of shit all around. Typical Honeycon match, and so the winners was the first team that had Kip Sapien in it, which, by the way, he still works here. And everything. Now, that one I don't think we voted for.
Oh, no, because it was too late. Was it? Huh? Because that's how it started. Yeah, Dante Martin, he pinned Daivari.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, I honestly did not recognize Kip with his hair. I was like, oh, who's that? I was like, oh, okay. I was like, like I said, I was like, oh, they're still here? Okay. Like, all right.
Yeah, I think he was Go-Go. I was also like, he's still here? What?
And I was like, wait, who is he?
Any quick thoughts, guys, in general? Or?
It's a match.
Honestly, to be 100% honest with you, I think it was because they were tag team back to back to back to back. My brain blended them into one match. I think that's what happened. I was like, damn, this is a long tag team. And I'm like, oh, wait, it's two separate matches. I was like, oh, man, this is a really big, long-ass tag team match. And then I'm like, oh, right, we had other entrances. I forgot.
Well, one thing about this match that we can all say is that Daddy Magic was the commentator.
Mm-hmm. If there's one thing I do miss the whole epitome of what was the whole thing? The Jericho Appreciation Society, the epitome of sports entertainment. Like I just missed that though.
I will say, legit, he's actually not a bad commentator, but I think it's because Excalibur is so bad. Like he makes him look like Bobby the Brain Heenan in comparison, but he's so bad because Excalibur's so bad. But Daddy Magic, he's actually not that bad on commentary. Like honestly, he's pretty fun. He's entertaining.
The accent he has, it just makes it fun,
He's got more energy, which I'm like, yeah, like I like that in the commentator.
Yeah. Any quick thoughts, William and Johnny?
Well, yeah, it was a pretty quick paced match. And I gotta agree with Jack here. Like, I thought this was like the longest match ever. I'm like, damn, this is like a long tag team match. Whoa, wait, okay, never mind. I actually had to get back on track on that. But I actually gotta give him credit where credit's due this time. At least the AEW cameramen were on par this time with that
Well,
big of a
Sky
match.
Blue wasn't there to distract them.
I,
Ah.
it, it must have been something because they were actually on par this time. So I gotta give kudos to them. And Kip Sabian, I can finally take him off the milk carton. We know where he is now. We know he's safe. Safe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, overall wasn't that bad. I don't remember a lot of it, but I just remember it was a long match.
It was there. Next.
Yeah, personally, I felt like the match was pretty combobulated. Like it's just too much going on as usual. But to my surprise, you actually did manage to see what was going on in the ring. Like they actually had good camera work this time. And I was actually surprised to see what's his name?
You remember Anthony Ogogo?
Yeah, I didn't even know he's still there, to be honest. Because he was, I don't know, he hasn't really been on that much, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Tina just show how Khan treats his wrestlers. Sign him for AEW, then they won't appear till, I don't know, way later.
Yeah, you either forget they're there or you forget who they are. If you're like me. So
Yeah. So just real quick before we move on to the other one, quick shout out to our good buddy Ricky Rocks. He was actually wrestling tonight at let me see here, Regional Championship Wrestling. They had a big Royal Rumble, and the winner was to get the regional wrestling, the title. And hey, Ricky Rocks won it.
yeah.
He got the title. And let me just show here real quick. I'll of course put pictures, but just for you guys, so you guys can see, you got Ricky here with the title. It's pretty awesome. A lot of time he kind of
Good for
helps,
him.
push the younger guys and stuff. So it's rare that he gets, good wins. So winning the title, dude, that's a big deal. It's pretty cool for him. So anyways, on to the next match there.
The Chris Statlander and Stokely match versus Willow and Ishii. Tomohiro Ishii.
Yep. And that one, Willow and Ishii won. If you expect, Stokely did a lot of running around and whatever, trying to avoid getting with Ishii, because really, what can you do against them and stuff? They had a little promo at the beginning where they showed how Stokely was actually training and getting ready to fight, and he was in a match in Collision, I think, before to whatever, but still, it's like you're learning to wrestle, but you're going up against Ishii. You're not going against Kip Sapien or Steve Avalon. You're going against Ishii, so he was pretty much screwed. But still, thanks to cheating and trickery and shenanigans, Willow and Ishii. Oh no,
Willow.
Never mind.
No, they won. They won.
Willow
they won.
won.
Yeah, Willow
that team won the match.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We were expecting it to be the other way around, but it ended up being kind of just okay.
Willow and them, yeah. And the stipulation, of course, is that whoever wins this gets to decide a stipulation between Statlander and Willow. Thank you for All Out. And I think that as of right now, they still have. Oh yeah, they did. It's gonna be a Chicago street fight.
Yeah.
This is they decided.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's for the CMLL title that was it for?
Yeah, the CMLL Queen of Queens or something like that. Belt.
Yeah, well, I think in this one they were just fighting.
I mean, for All Out. I thought for All Out.
No, that's for All Out. It's for that title.
Oh, it's for All. Oh, okay, never mind.
All right. So
she's defending that belt. I guess. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. So it was a training match because I was looking forward to see what would Stokely do and stuff like that, And yeah, that's all I can say. It's an entertaining match. I like all the heelism and all the stuff going on. But then you get to see, of course, Chris and Willow do their thing. And Willow basically launched Chris into the stratosphere with the pounce and stuff like that. But
I like how Stokely got brought in on that big old golden bed. I couldn't help but laugh at that.
That was funny. I was like, what is this? I was very confused by it. I was like, what is this?
I like how Stokely was like in the ring and he was like, saw that Ishii was there. He tagged himself out so fast.
Yeah, I was like, is this a reference? Someone was like, I remember what's his name said, oh yeah, I remember Excalibur. Excalibur said, it's Stokely is it's like he's being brought out and wearing gear that is reminiscent of the Remember the Time music video from Michael Jackson. I'm like, when the hell was there a giant bed in that music video? I'm like, when the hell was there a bed in that music video? There.
Wait. Time out. Hey, I like that video. But wait a minute.
No, I do too. But I'm like, in what way is it referencing? Because he's wearing gold? I'm like, oh, because no one's worn gold to the ring. I'm like,
oh my gosh, you know what? I could be a better commentator. Oh, he's wearing gold. Reminds me of that. You remember Dustin when he was Gold Dust?
No.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I was just so confused when he actually said on the commentary, he's like, it's a tribute to the music video. Remember the Time. I'm like, first of all, they're not wrestling in Egypt. Second of all, there was no bed in that music video. So what are you talking about?
So my quick question here is, do I just ignore the commentary so much that I just miss a lot of what Excalibur says?
Well, to be fair, it does brain rot. It sounds like brain rot half of the time they speak. But overall with the match, I was just kind of like, eh. I am on Mark's side a little bit. I was kind of expecting, I think if it wasn't Ishii, we would have probably gotten to see a little bit more from Stokely because you could tell he's actually been training a little bit, like, because he's a lot leaner looking. I would have liked to seen him do like attempt more like drop kicks or like him try crossbody. It's some basic, basic moves, but again, it's a match with Ishii. So we're like, okay, we get what we can get. But overall, I was like, okay, it was a pretty cut and dry match. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of a blah match. The only one good part in that whole match, I got to see the highlights of it again. It was hilarious, was when Willow Nightingale basically did the pounce on Statlander. It's funny because it kind of reminded me of anybody remember the old video game Battletoads when one of the toads would do the headbutt and the head would turn into a ram? That's what it reminded me of. Hit her so fast. Like, she hit her fast enough, it was almost a jump scare at that point. But
that what's really funny, you mentioned that. I actually pointed this out to a friend of mine. I said, I mentioned this to him. He's like, yes, you're the only one. I said, am I the only one who has these weird nostalgia vibes whenever I see Rhea Ripley do the foot stomp thing? I think of the Battletoads giant boot. And he's like, yes. He's like, yes, you are the only one that thinks that. I was just like, okay. I was just thinking about that out loud.
Jack, I must commend you because I'm glad it was not just me. But yeah, at the same time, like, she put a pounce on her that would make Monty Brown proud. So that was just insane. Now, as far as Ishii and the other guy being in the ring, yeah, don't get me wrong, that other guy is learning, but it's going to take a little bit more time. And then you got somebody like Ishii in the ring. If he works with him a little bit longer, he's going to turn out all right. But otherwise, the match was just kind of it was there.
I guess so. Well, like I said, I did like the part with Chris, Statlander made Ishii stagger. I thought that was kind of funny. Oh, and also for this match, as we mentioned, Willow's team won, and it was split evenly down the middle with this one. So the ones who get points for this match will be Mark and Johnny and myself. Johnny, what did you think of this match?
Personally, I found like the match was kind of short. And I think they focused way too much on Ichi versus Stokely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I see them fight more compared to Willow versus Chris Stanlander. I don't know. That's the way I remembered it. So to me, like, even though it was an intergender match, I think I saw more of the guys fighting than the girls fight.
Well, yeah, because you remember that the whole deal was because Stokely's not a wrestler. He's just like the ballet guy. It'd be like Nana in the match. Like, most of the focus would be like, okay, how is Nana going to actually wrestle as opposed to Swerve, who we've already seen wrestle at the time. You know what I mean? That's why it was more focused on Stokely and everything.
So personally, I think, it was so good that Wardlow still won the match because that's all I actually care about. That's all I care about. Wardlow wins the match. But on a personal level, I think the match could have went a little better in certain aspects.
Yeah, there was a halfway comedic match because of Stokely.
Yeah.
So the next one, like you guys were saying, more matches. We got 10-man tag team matches. Tony Khan's determined to shove whoever's available, like the entire locker room, into this event. They all get free tickets to London. We've got the Von Erichs, which is Marshall Von Erich and Ross Von Erich, Sammy Guevara, because he still works here, Tatsuyoshi Shibata, and Dustin Rhodes, 2 belts, because he's got the Ring of Honor tag team belts and the AEW tag team belts. That's fucking awesome. I'm proud of them. And they go up against the Undisputed Kingdom, which is Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, Cage of Agony, which is Bishop Khan, Brian Cage, and Toa Leona. And so in that one, the Von Erich team with Guevara and all them, that they won. So it's pretty good.
And remember the other thing, Dustin had the Deadpool look, and
right,
Brian Cage had the Wolverine look.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and Sammy Guevara also had a Wolverine outfit. I'm like, so you have 2 separate. So you have Brian Cage, who looks actually and dresses like Wolverine, and then you have Sammy Guevara, who looks like he got his shit off Wish.
Oh, sorry. Whatever. Sammy wasn't there. Whatever. I'm sorry. I just don't like Sammy.
You missed an opportunity to have someone else dressed like Gambit, is all I'm saying. Just
there you go. With Gambit?
Yeah, we missed opportunity. I'm just saying. Anyway. I didn't really like I said, I didn't really give, like I said, I think the sad thing is the highlight of the match is their gear, and that's really sad. What's funny is, like, I'm looking at the people who were in the match, and I'm like, I should enjoy this because I love the Von Erichs. I think they're one of the most underrated tag teams in the indie circuit, and I also love the Kingdom, but not Undisputed Kingdom, but the Kingdom. But it's like I said, what's so funny is I always tell my friend that I feel that these pre-shows are basically just Tony Khan just throwing his roster a bone to go, please don't leave, please. And that's all it is. It's what it feels like. I mean, realistically, that's why they're all slapdash together.
Remember, it's all great. It's all great. Don't leave. Don't leave. It's all great. I promise.
Okay.
I have no opinion. I have no opinion on this match. No, go ahead, Where? Lay it out there.
So I gotta give him credit where credit's due. The costumes were pretty dope. I will give them that. But other than that, I don't remember a lot about this match, which, again, I gotta agree with Jack. That's not good because on paper, this sounds like a really good match. This sounds like a match that would be up my alley. It was so lackluster, I don't really remember it. I mean, this might as well have just been called the Weapon X match because you've got all these superpowered characters, zero memory. It's just like Wolverine.
Oh no. Yeah, that's my feeling. That's my feelings about it. It was just there for me. It's just I don't remember any spots. I don't remember any real moves. And I was watching it even in real time. I couldn't really pick up on much. But you know how I am when you got big matches like that, and it's just so many people that even I forget. Wait, who's with who again? So I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, except with Dustin with the Von Erichs, I kept forgetting about Sammy with his stupid hair, and I like Shibata, as we all know. But
just one quick question: I do wonder if some of these guys like when they do like the Wolverine, for example, like do they still have to pay royalties to Marvel, or does Marvel just kind of let it slide in terms of like it's free advertising? Because, for example, we know with Deadpool, Wolverine, and all them, obviously that would be Marvel money, I guess. But like when Jay dressed up as Chitara, who even owns the Thundercats anymore? Too like where would those go?
No. When it comes to ring gear, no, because it's considered a tribute. It's considered tribute, so it's not considered like direct parody. So if it was like direct reference, yes. So if it was like So like good example, Brian Cage coming out with trunks similar to Wolverine, that's fine. But if Brian Cage came out with claws and the face visor, 100% he'd have to pay Marvel. So like, I mean, like by that logic, because like they have to have free license for parody because I mean, well, it's protected copyright, but it's also like if you did that, then you would literally have millions of dollars in lawsuits from Rey Mysterio. Do you know how many freaking how much gear he's had as tribute of like he's had the he's had the Joker, the Flash, like Wolverine, like all these characters. You're like, yeah, I mean, like so. It's if it's costume, but you're not saying I am this character, it's totally fine. So no, they don't have
Jade, though. Jade is like full on Storm and Chitara cosplay.
Oh, I remember the Storm.
Well, but she's not calling herself the character. So if you're not referring to yourself as the character, it's not technically illegal, and you're not trying to make a profit off of the character. So you're just kind of like, oh, I'm wearing the costume. Because it's the same reason why people are allowed to dress up in cosplay at conventions. You're not making a profit off of it.
Or kids going around dressing up for Halloween, right? Can you imagine all
exactly. It's the same principle. Right. It's the same principle. Exactly.
I mean, best point. Look at Selena Vega in that all women's Royal Rumble. She dressed 100% like Jury from Street Fighter. Nothing happened. Brian Cage did the same thing. He's dressed as Zangief probably twice. Nothing happened. I mean, actually, heck, he actually came out in the full Weapon X gear. He had the visor and the claws and everything. Nothing happened.
I think it's because you're thinking of like the way AEW has been doing collaborations with Capcom. So you're like, that's why. Because I know if it's like that, it's different. Like that's an open relationship. But if it's just, hey, I want to dress up like this character a little bit, and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. It's just a tribute. But you're not saying what the character is.
Yeah.
And that you are this character. So you're not saying you are the character. You're saying, oh, I'm dressed like it.
Yeah.
It's basically just costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Selena's case, I'm sure Capcom, like, whatever, because they were promoting Street Fighter 6, and she became a commentator in Street Fighter 6, so that's kind of a slightly different.
Oh, that's right, because I was listening. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
All right. Well, anyways, do we all go on this one? Johnny, had any thoughts on it, or?
I don't really remember too much about the match. In my honest opinion, because I've seen the Von Erichs fight quite a bit on the Ring of Honor, to me this looks like an extended version of a Ring of Honor match.
Mm.
Like I didn't really get anything special, anything spectacular. I mean, yeah, okay, Sammy Guevara's back, like stuff like that. But other than that, it's like I like pretty much like you, Wendy. I don't really remember what happened in that match, and I don't I really don't care either.
So next one we have is the
winner. Like you said, we already,
we did vote for this one?
Yeah, we did. The only one that we didn't know was that first one.
Okay.
So everyone gets a point for this one, because Team Dustin, Von Erich, Sammy, Shibata, they won.
Cool. All right, there we go. So we all get a point.
Because honestly, and as Jack had pointed out and the others pointed out, you have Cody Rhodes with the Von Erichs. Why would they let them lose?
Or Dustin Rhodes.
Well, Dustin, but I'm just... Oh, oops, I never said Cody. I meant Dustin. Well, either way, it's Dustin with the Von Erichs. I mean, come on now.
Yeah. So anyways, next we got the four-way London ladder match for the AEW Trios Championship, which was Pac teaming up with the Blackpool Combat Club, which of course shows that the Lucha Bros are gone, because normally it would have been them. Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta going up against the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Kill Switch, and Nick Wayne, with Mama Wayne in the background there. The Bang Bang Gang with Juice Robinson, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn, and the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. And the most noticeable thing about it, because in this particular arena, I think the enclosed arena and stuff was like smaller or something like that. The belts were really not that high up suspended, and the ladders were not really like that huge. So it was kind of weird. Like these smaller than ladders that they were usually used to seeing and everything. But yeah, it's a pretty intense match. And for me, I was mostly surprised that that Pac and them actually won, because I wonder if that means it's because they got to defend their titles going forward, of course. If that means that Pac is kind of sort of an unofficial member of the Blackpool Combat Club.
I hope it goes defunct, and I just hope the whole thing goes defunct, and he just be their own thing, honestly. And just dropped all association with the Blackpool Comic Club. It's not like Regal is there anymore. So what's the point?
It's just not the same.
Yeah, because not only that, it also goes into Dynamite of like, is Moxley not in the fucking group anymore? Because like now he's like doing his weird thing, and I'm like, I just imagine him going like, well, you know what? I'm gonna make my own Blackpool Combat Club with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the club. Like that's what it felt like. And I'm like, dude, you started this stupid group. Why did you leave? That's kind of like the guy who created M&M's leaving to create another company. I'm like, dude, you owned it. Like, why did you leave? Like, I don't know.
But back to the outside and Kenyon inside.
I'm gonna stop making chocolate and start making mint. You're like, why? Like, why? Anyway, honestly, I was like, it felt like the match felt like a cluster, and I could tell, and I'm like, this is not a good sign. And I pointed this out to my roommate as we were watching it, because we watched, for once, I watched the pre-show all the way and the main pay-per-view all the way, and I could tell, I'm like, man, it is the first match, and you could tell the audience is already fatigued with how much flippy-dippy shit there is. And by the match, I'm not joking, at the end of the match, I counted, at the end of this match, by this point, there had already been 9 dive spots. 9. There had already been 9 dive spots collectively with the pre-show in this first match and the end of the first match. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Okay, this is getting ridiculous now. And at that point, I'm also like, I was literally also, like I said, I felt like the tag teams were really like, like a dad going to a gas station because he forgot his kid's birthday and just putting shit in a bag and going, happy birthday. Like, that's what it felt like. I was like, okay. You're like, well, we got a title match. You and then you and then you. Like,
okay, seriously. You and William come up with the most interesting analogies.
I try. But honestly, it's true, because that's what it felt like. I was like, who? What? And then the only team I was like, oh, well, obviously, my brain went to logic. Again, I have to remind myself it's AEW. My brain went, oh, obviously, the only actual foundational team besides the Bang Bang Gang will win the match. And then they go, nope, new team we just put together last minute, winners. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just just like, okay, I'm all right. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically my overall thoughts on the match, pretty much.
I think the answer to how Tony Khan set up that team at the last minute is, I think he just got a copy of Fight Forever and just was putting the teams together, and then they were just like, all right, we got like 5 minutes. We got to put a tag team together, and he just hit the random button and just put that last one together. Because it honestly did make sense. It felt kind of like even the spots and everything were called on the fly. And yeah, Wendy, you were right about the ladders. They looked incredibly small. Like, I could have literally taken a folding chair and pulled the title down. Like, it did not take that much of a struggle. They looked like mini step ladders. They didn't look like the full-size ladders that you would use in a normal style match to get that type of belt. Like, it felt like I could have literally just gotten on a chair, and it was like a little kid pulling cookies from off the top of the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised Claudio couldn't just reach up and get it while the ladder. Like,
I swear. Yeah, because I even pointed that one out. Another thing I didn't get either, because we were wondering, were there any ladder matches last year? Because they were at Wembley last year, so, maybe the theory was like, oh, maybe they couldn't have ladders that high because of the way the arena was set up with the open, when it was open, but then we had some stuff later that happens where that kind of throws that whole, theory out the window. So
yeah, I felt like if somebody like Big Bill was in the match, he'd just go, oh, here. Like,
hi guys, this works for me, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
No, there wasn't last year there wasn't a ladder match.
Yeah, just check. There wasn't a ladder match last year.
Because I said, like, because that was the theory, but then later on this show, we see they use a larger ladder, and, it's like, okay, so much for that theory. And what if they did it because, Mama Wayne had to climb the ladder, do a spot where she had to climb the ladder with the guns jumping in there? Maybe.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy. I remember that. Yeah, and they were going to smack her, or, like, if they...
Now
when Juice was about to, like, slam her down, I was like, do it! Do it!
Only thing I'm scared about in this whole situation is now that Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club have the titles, I'm just hoping that Pac does not get injured again. Because it never fails. As soon as he gets some sort of momentum, that's when he gets hurt. Now he's actually got a title on him. I don't know if Murphy's Law just has a target on his head or what, but he just...
Well, didn't you know he went to... I thought you knew. He went to Randy Orton's school of... Ow, wow, 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 wow.
It's like, who put a curse on him? Kendrick Lamar? Like, what's going on here?
Probably. Let's be honest here. I don't get it either. What do you think, Johnny?
Okay, so now that you guys have brought up that the ladders are pretty small, I'm actually wondering if the ring was smaller too, because I swore that last year's in just looked like 1,000 times more spectacular. The ring looked bigger. I don't know, everything just looked bigger and better, and now everything looks so reductive and like
it is.
Controversy.
I think it was a smaller. ring area.
And I know that they didn't even have like more like like those big TV displays. Like they only had one instead of having several.
They didn't have any on the outside of the canopy. The canopy above the ring. So everyone on the stadium side, on the top, or on this side or that side, couldn't see anything. And they didn't put anything on the screen. So it was like, wow, y'all got screwed out of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty messed up. And, considering that people are traveling internationally to London.
And you want to know what makes it even worse? Knowing that fact and knowing that it's confirmed. I'm not joking when I say this. Mercedes Moné's gear just for this show cost $10,000. I'm not even kidding. It's not a joke. So the fact that they paid $10,000 for her gear, but they couldn't put a basic like sheet thing to project it off of is speaks volumes to their management or lack thereof.
They didn't pay me $50. I would have did it for them.
Okay, I'm convinced that Mercedes Moné probably gives Tony Khan a little kiss in the cheek once in a while. Maybe that's why she gets all that money.
Mercedes give me kisses.
Yeah, because I kind of don't see him going any further.
I mean, I hate to say it.
Oh, he's here for his life.
Is like the first ever wrestling show to actually put on an indie style show at Wembley. And I'm not even saying like indie wrestlers. I'm talking indie quality. Like this could have been done at a high school gym and I probably wouldn't have known the difference. And you're right. The ring did look smaller. It looked almost like the size of not a wrestling ring, but more like a kickboxing or a boxing ring. Like it was way smaller. Like something definitely was off on that. And I don't want to blame Monet, but that might have been a deduction to the budget. I'm just saying.
I guess for myself with this match, like it was what it was, but I did like a couple of things, but only mostly because it was just funny to me. Like how, everyone kind of knocked each other out. That Christian came back in the ring saying, yeah, I want to climb up this ladder. Okay, I'm like 5'10", but I still got to climb up extra slow to try to get to the top. Oh, we're gonna fall or whatever. I thought that was funny. Like I said, I love when Juice was went after Mama Wayne and you was about to slam her ass. I like when Christian was beating you to like the little bitch that he was. That's messed up. I did kind of like Pac Sparta kick on Christian.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
So spending that much money on her and not affording the things and the bigger ring and all that, I'm convinced that all Monet has to do is just get on her knees. And I don't mean do anything else. I'm just saying there, just get on her knees and kind of, okay, I'll give her $10,000. Oh my God, I fear for my life. My gosh, she got on her knees. Ooh, my goodness.
So anyway,
don't got Dean Whitakers.
So anyway,
allegedly we're in trouble. Allegedly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Johnny, give your thoughts before you give your vote.
But this match was the only thing I remember that was kind of funny is Mama Wayne trying to climb the ring with her high ass heels. Like, how are you gonna do that with your 9-inch heels? That shit was kind of fun.
I think you were saying that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this one other thing real quick before we go to the next match, and this is not a criticism on the kid. I think he's got a lot of talent, but the longer he's hindered with his own mom, the longer he's ever going to be taken credibly as a wrestler. And I get it. It's a faction thing. It's a villain thing. I get that. But it's impossible for someone to take you seriously as a professional wrestler when your mom's in your corner every week. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it doesn't, I mean, you don't believe me? Ask Buff Bagwell. It didn't work out for him.
Yeah, but Christian needs his kazoo played.
Also, why have they not done anything? I don't know why they haven't done anything with the fact that she's his mom. Like, they haven't done anything of like with it other than the fact that she's his mom. Like, there's nothing there. Like other like.
Well, the thing is, they're heels too. So
yeah, sure.
If something happens,
no. What I mean is like, okay, when you have like that kind of a faction group, you're supposed to have each member of a faction is supposed to bring something to the faction, but they don't bring anything to the faction. Like her should be like the sex appeal. So she should be like, like saying like dogging on the women wrestlers or whatever. And then like, yeah, I'm saying like you have to add something instead of just Christian being the only talker and no one else doing anything. It's just weird. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Okay. So for this one, let's see where the only ones to get points for this were William and DJF because they went for Team Pac. They were the Blackpool Combat Club. Everybody else went for the House of Black because, as mentioned, they are the actual established team there. Okay. So for the next one, it is the AEW Women's World Championship title match. With Toni Storm, timeless Toni Storm, and Mariah May.
Yep, and of course Luther was there in the background. And yeah, it was a pretty intense match. I just don't remember too many details of it. I know Mariah May was trying to copy a couple of Tony's moves and everything. Yeah, they just take her out with her own move. Took her out with the Storm Zero. Yeah, and everything. And yeah, Mariah May actually won. She's a brand new champion. And in my opinion, I guess it was time at this point because we kind of get the famous thing of if not her, then who will finally take her down? And it kind of makes her whole, I guess, her undercover revenge plot or whatever complete that she actually took the title. And in Tony's case, she's still so over with her gimmick that, I mean, she doesn't need a title. She can still do all her crazy stuff and make Tony feel uncomfortable and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really liked this match. I thought it was probably the sleeper hit of the night. I think that I did love the spot where she slapped her own mom. Like that was awesome.
Oh, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was completely out of nowhere. And it had everyone going, what? But then half of the crowd booed her and half of the crowd still cheered her. And I'm like, but that's good because it's like, oh, okay, like, you're into and then Tony to come out and go give her a big hug. And I'm like, oh, I see what they're doing. They're trying to change the dynamics. I'm like, okay, cool. And it's weird. So I've seen Mariah May wrestle in stardom and her style is very much like, what if you how do I explain this? It's almost a diva style wrestler, but quicker and harder hitting. So it's like, but like quicker and harder hitting. And she showed off a lot of her stardom skills. to the best of like a better was allowed to shine without having to, I'm copying Toni Storm like she has for like months. And I'm glad they got to let her do that. You could tell like Toni, you know, the gimmick's kind of wearing out. Not wearing out, but it's like
it was one that was broken apart into pieces. That's the apple. I know. Yeah.
It's getting the gimmick with Tony's a little worn out at this point because it's like, where can you really go from here? It had good story beats, and I like that it had story beats that you could build off of later. The fact that she beat her using her own finisher, the fact that Toni was reluctant to and like use her finisher, like I can't do it, I can't do it. It's like, but it cost her, you know. It's like da-da-da-da. So they could build a future storyline with that. See, that match is exactly what I'm talking about. Like that's a match where I'm saying this is called storytelling. That is what you should be doing. But instead they're like, but what if we have this guy hump this person's face for 5 solid minutes? That's real wrestling. I'm like, no, stop it. Like this match is exactly what they should be doing. I'm not saying, you know, the goofiness or any of that shit. I'm talking about like the building of it. And that's what you should be doing in wrestling. You're supposed to be telling a story organically and letting the audience attach themselves to it. And I like that they did that. And overall, like I said, it was a great sleeper match. A lot of people, I loved it. I thought it was a great match, and I thought it was a solid, 100%. I will say flat out, best women's match of the night. 100%. I could guarantee that. But that's my thoughts on that. What about you? What about you guys?
Oh, one thing I did want to say is that something that we rarely see women do in wrestling is mostly the guys that do that. But both Toni and Mariah went for a low blow at the same time. So instead of double crotch shot, it's like double cooch shot, and they both fell over in pain. And that's like, wow, okay.
Shot.
That's Toxic Avenger vibes there, if you guys remember the sequence.
But yeah, I was actually surprised. I thought this was going to be one of the more boring matches out of this, but it was actually a really good, entertaining match. Mariah May, you know, I have to agree with Jack. She had more of a diva style, except it was faster and unlike the divas, more accurate. You know, wasn't a botch fest. So yeah, that was actually a pretty good part. Now the part where Mom got slapped, I was kind of like, I was looking at it and even I was like, oh, whoa, no.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that totally came out of left field.
But that's why it worked so well, because everyone was taken off guard. That's why it worked so well.
Yeah, it definitely worked because that took me off guard. But yeah, I totally have to agree. Here's the one match I thought I wouldn't be really too entertained in, and it was very entertaining, and it had storytelling, unlike the rest of the freaking show.
Hey, one story per pay-per-view, man. That's the Tony Khan way. Everything is great.
Yeah, I'm sitting there looking at it going, who wrote this? And I didn't mean it in a bad way for once. So yeah, good match.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't mind it so much. It had a few good spots, some fun moments. Like I said, slapping your mama. Oh, what I said, it's like she slapped the taste out of her mouth. You know, it's like, dang, girl, what to you?
Literally, the match was so good, it'll make you slap your mama.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, my God, they need to put that on a shirt or something. Okay, Tony Khan, sell that. I mean, you need to make some extra cash somehow. He said got to pay off Mercedes and playing the final countdown for this show. Oh, I thought it was kind of crazy how Nada was still kind of marking out over her that he's to get in the ring. Hey, went over there, she gave him that kiss, and all of a sudden, yeah, I can wrestle again. I thought that was so silly. Hey, Nada, what did you think of this match? I had nothing really. I'm the
This match is very very good storytelling. You can see there's a lot of emotions behind it. Tony Storm and Mariah May, like it's a very personal, intense match. A lot of hits, a lot of slapping. It was just great, but to some people's surprise, because I was actually surprised, Toni Storm actually lost this match. Because, at this point, she was becoming a little too predictable, always winning every single match. So it was kind of surprising she actually lost this one by Mariah May. So, hey, it's good. I think it's a good, intense match. And it's one of the better matches of the entire pay-per-view, in my honest opinion. Better than the other women's matches they had in this pay-per-view.
Oh, boy. But, okay, so anyway, for this one, it was split again, 3-3. So, Mariah won, as mentioned. So, Mark and Jack and I chose Mariah, while DJF and Johnny and Panda chose Tony.
So next we've had
we don't care. It doesn't work for me, brother. Next.
Yeah, well, basically that is. The next one we have Chris Jericho with Big Bill, Brian Keith in the background, which, by the way, you respect Chris Jericho and all that.
Chris Jericho right now.
Yeah. So he's defending the FTW title against Hook, and in this particular case, it was a last chance match. If Hook were to lose, he would never be able to challenge for that title ever again. So naturally, Hook won. And yeah, it was a pretty good match and everything. And I remember, was that the one where Taz got in there? Because I was confused.
Oh, yeah. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, there was a part where Hook was getting Jericho in his move and stuff.
Yes.
And to prevent, like, I think it was either Big Bill or, no, it was Keith, probably Keith, right? It makes more sense for Keith because Big Bill's so damn tall. But, yeah, Taz got his ass in there and actually choked out Keith to keep Keith's ass out of the match and everything. Yeah. And there you go. So Hook is back to being the FTW champion, and we'll see what happens there. Oh, that's the Tony Khan. Please don't quit. Please don't quit. I'll make you champion again. Please don't quit. Everything's great.
My question was, well, first of all, garbage match. I couldn't give a single solitary shit about it. But my question is, what happened to Samoa Joe?
He's out on injury, but in real life, he's busy filming. What's that?
I forgot what it was. Yeah, he's doing.
What's the series?
Twisted Metal.
Yeah, Twisted Metal. He's
Twisted Metal.
Stuff.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
I was like, no, because I was like, I don't watch Dynamite. That's why I was curious. I was like, is he just? Is he just like
he got ganged up on and injured, but that's the kayfabe reason. While in real life he's filming for Twisted Metal,
Yeah, he got driven through he was thrown on a fork and driven through an obvious fake wall by Jericho.
Also,
because he disrespected the learning tree.
The more I find it also funny, the more and more Chris Jericho is around, the more and more people realize just how bad he is in the ring, on the mic, singing.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like I said, do all the stuff, but just don't be in the ring anymore.
Oh, but when he was
just
saying
the mouth.
he was really,
I was talking about when he was singing.
Yeah, he was very off key when he was singing. I guess because
I'm gonna sing a song. I'm like, stop.
I guess they didn't practice with the sound or something, so you can like sing in key.
Hey guys, I could get us a sold out arena. Is it a wrestling show? Well, yeah, but that's not important.
Okay. On the bright side, that didn't cost $10,000.
Yeah, but even with that, Billy Corgan wouldn't even pull such nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. It was just trash. It was just pure trash. I couldn't give two shits, honestly. And longer Hook's there, the more his future goes away like a Thanos snap.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad he beat Captain Airfryer, but I mean, dude, like, I've never seen people fight so hard for a title that, for all intents and purposes and records and everything, doesn't even exist. It was literally, they could have been fighting over a cardboard box and it would have been the same.
Yeah, but you have to remember, William, the title is For Zawadu.
Who? Who, Taz? I mean, that's the only person that I could think it was for, but I mean, hey,
hair.
don't get me wrong.
The deal title.
Don't get me wrong. I'm glad Hook won it, but still, all he's doing is prolonging his career in AEW and constantly swirling it down the toilet. He needs to get out of there. He needs to go to New Japan, or he needs to go to NXT. No, even go to TNA. Somewhere, anywhere but there. TNA, he'd probably be a much better fit. And I think he'd get a lot more ring experience and a lot more screen time. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad he won the match, but it was a match that for a title that doesn't really exist on paper. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Why did Hook have to win? He had a way out.
I mean, if that's the case, if anybody wants to challenge me, hey, I just won the Nokia title. If anybody wants to take me down for it, let's go.
Okay, let's go, man. We're taking it out back. Let's go. Oh my God! Why did this match have to happen? Why
This is more legit. This is more of a legitimate belt than that belt. This is a replica.
I'm sorry. This entire match. First of all, I'm pissed off that this nonsense match was like before a good match, because this should be like in the middle where, you know, you go do your bathroom break, you go buy some stuff from the concessions, you know, those type of matches should be put together. The Osprey match, all, you know, so many other matches, why does it exist? This shouldn't be around. But anyway,
Johnny, your thoughts?
wait. Let me just get something out here. I did think it was funny when what's name did a suplex with the little cricket bat.
Oh, no.
I mean, it was silly and stupid, but whatever. They all have some kind of stupid gimmick because FTW rules, and that's all Jericho can do. Anything with no disqualification, because that's the only kind of match he can do.
Yep, one-on-one anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Johnny. I mean, I ain't got nothing to really say about this should have been on Rampage match.
Yeah, personally, I didn't really care too much about the match. And the more I see Chris Jericho fight, the more I'm like, why? Like, this match is, you know.
Air fryers need love too.
I am happy that Hook did win the match, but it's also kind of weird because isn't his contract supposed to kind of expire eventually, like pretty soon?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Why he still won the match. That's the only thing that's kind of like weird about it.
Mm.
Other than that, it was all right. It was nothing to shout about.
All right. For this one, everybody went with Jericho except for Panda and Hook. I mean, Panda and DJO.
I mean, Hook would vote for himself, so.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. So anyway, the next one we had was a three-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, which is the the Young Bucks,
Even say
going
who
up
they are.
against FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax
I know who they are.
Now, this could be someone's first podcast. You know how it is.
But they
And-
get sleep by now.
Okay. And the Acclaim, no, our thing is to keep them awake. Never mind. Yeah. Do not drive while watching the podcast, guys. It has caused accidents. Anyways, and going up against the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Matt Caster with Billy Gunn, because everyone loves the Acclaimed. Which, of course, makes us question, of course, how much Max Caster likes to dabble, because, again, his rap include pumping penises. I mean, yeah, we always ask each other, like, are you sure Anthony Bowens is the gay one? Because Max Caster...
Because seriously, I had to ask one time. I said, wait, so the Max guy, the rapper guy, he the gay one, right? He was like, no, this other guy. I'm like, wait, really? Okay, if you said so.
Yeah, like I said, Max probably dabbles. He's probably curious. But anyways, yeah, it's a pretty intense match there. But, the stupid people there, and of course they pump up their sneakers and do the thing. Now the only thing I did find interesting that was kind of funny because I guess the people kept mixing and matching and stuff. One of the Bucks and I think Caster both grabbed one of the other guys and they did the EVP thing together. Instead of instead of the Young Bucks, it was one of the Bucks and Caster doing it. So that was kind of entertaining thing. But yeah, other than that, not much really stood out to me. Other than
for me,
the obvious that the Young Bucks still won.
Well, yeah, whatever, I don't care. But anyway, the main thing that stuck out to me when I first saw it was how the Bucks were dressed. And I was like, oh, yeah. So you can always forget which one is which. So Nick was dressed like Paul McCartney from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts. And the other one whose name I keep forgetting, what's his name?
Matt.
He was dressed like John.
Matt, he was John Lennon. I recognize, like, I just noticed it right off the bat, But other than that, whatever, didn't care. I was like, let's just go on in the match. Then the Bucks won, and I just, whatever.
This match was a culmination of exactly what makes AEW so garbage. You had a team that's the rah-rah team. You had a team that's the stupid gimmick team. And you have the team that strangleholds and vice grips the nuts of the company. So it was literally like watching in a gimmick match, by the way. I forgot to mention that part. It's a gimmick match because, AEW loves their gimmicks. It was like watching Reddit fight Tumblr, fight 4chan in a match. That's what it felt like. Now, y'all can decide which you think is which, but that's what it felt like to me. And so I couldn't give two flying shits who won this match.
And thanks a lot, Jack, because thanks to you, now 4chan is referenced on my channel. But, any thoughts, Johnny?
Only a matter of time.
Okay. So at this point, I'm starting to wonder if FTR stands for fuck these wrestlers. Because they keep doing these guys dirty every single time. It's like, are we going to win this time, boss? Yeah, sure. And then it's like, we're going to put you against the Young Bucks. Well, great. We know we're not going to win now. They just keep screwing them over and screwing them over and screwing them over. I mean, it either stands for fuck these wrestlers or it's like fronting their retirement because that's all they're doing. They're there. The FTR has pretty much come from being like a pretty badass tag team to being the first most well-known jobbers I've ever seen in my whole life. It's freaking ridiculous. And then you've got the you got the Acclaim Young Bucks, and then you got the Young Bucks, and it's just like, okay, I agree with Jack. This is just like a clash of gimmicks that nobody wanted to see, nobody cared about. Book this match.
I just was thinking too, I don't know if this is true or not, but the reason that I don't know why they're letting the Bucks hold on to those titles besides the fact that maybe Matt and Nick wants to, or because they're EVPs. But I think it's like something with their contracts with how it's defended. They only have like a certain amount of matches they can do within a year, which is why they haven't.
They literally not kayfabe actually changed their contracts to make it so that they are officially part-timers, like not as a joke, as an actual thing. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, so you literally took the playbook of Kevin Nash and went, that's what I got to do. And I'm like, okay, so you are officially pieces of garbage. Got it. Just so we're clear. Got it.
I knew it was something like that. I mean, like IRL,
The bad thing with FTR that, at least personally for me, when they first appeared, I didn't care about them. They won me over with their matches with the Briscoes, and now they're right back to me not caring about them anymore.
Yeah, because like I said, when I saw them, I really was into FTR, and I hate the fact that I don't care about them anymore, and I wish they could do something to make me care again, but I don't know what they could do at this point to make me care, because it's like Tony isn't taking them seriously, and they aren't taking themselves seriously, and they don't probably have the power to do anything. And then there's the Punk connection, but I don't want to go there.
Panda, what do you think if you took any of these three teams and you put them up against the War Dogs? Who do you think would win?
What was that?
If I wanted to get your opinion, if you took any of these three teams and you put them up against the Bullet Club War Dogs, who do you think would win?
Bullet Club all day.
Yeah, see? Because they treat them seriously, and they're actually like a good team who work off of each other. Like, fuck, put like I said, put Drilla Maloney, put Clark Connors in that match. Boo, they would have blown the house off, man. They have this chemistry about them that actually like makes them feel legitimate. And they have this like, and hell, even TMDK, they're a goofy gimmick, but they're actually presented in a like legitimate like faction. I know everyone knows me as the New Japan guy, but I say this sincerely. One of the reasons that New Japan gets over so well with the pure, even the people who are cynics, is that it even a goofy character can get over if it's presented in a proper, respectful way, which New Japan does and AEW doesn't. And the fact of the matter is, they're never going to present FTR as legitimate again. That's the truth. They don't present the Bucks as legitimate, and they've never presented the Acclaim as legitimate. So it's like, what's even the point of having a tag team at that point?
And actually, you know what, maybe this is just me, putting on a tinfoil hat. Maybe this is just me dreaming or praying for this. But one New Japan wrestler that, was comedic, they did carry him seriously, was in the Bullet Club, that I would hope would come back and get the titles with his old partner. Kenny Omega's been pretty freaking quiet nowadays. So if he were to come back and reform the Golden Lovers and beat the freaking pants off the Young Bucks, do you know how crazy that would be? And I mean, just literally keep it completely hush, unannounced, just have him standing there talking smack, and then you just hear Kenny Omega's music play. Oh no. One step better. Not Kenny Omega's music. Have the actual one-winged angel, because I know Tony Khan has enough to play it. Play the Sephiroth theme and then have him come out, and then have Ibushi come out right behind him. I guarantee you that would be insane. And I really hope that that's what they're holding those titles that long for, but that's just me.
Thoughts, Johnny?
Personally, I couldn't really care much about this match, just for the fact that the Young Bucks are there. But, this is the kind of match that I would have even preferred the Acclaim to win this compared to the Young Bucks. That's how bad the Young Bucks are.
Not bad.
Like, it's just, can't stand seeing them.
He's not wrong. They've tarnished whatever semblance of like fandom they've had, because it's like, it's okay. Here's a perfect example. Dominic Mysterio gets over organically as a villain because of what he's done as a character. But the Bucks are legitimate garbage people. So like, not kayfabe, in real life, they're garbage people. So even outside of character, no one gives a shit about them. And they just add a toxicity. And it is perfect that that Jack Perry is teaming with them, because he's also a garbage human being. So it is kind of funny how that ends up working. But it's like, you don't give the audience, even those that like villains, a reason to give a shit about you.
All right. Okay. For this particular match. Also at the end, as mentioned, the Bucks won, and Panda and DJF were the only ones that went for the Bucks. Everyone else went for FTR. And at the end of that match, the Grizzly Young Vets just showed up and just started beating up on the FTR, which even made me feel which annoyed me even more. Say, okay, they really don't have any respect for FTR. Like,
yeah, but that's at least saying a rivalry for them. That'll give FTR something to do.
I guess so, but still, I don't know. Come on, man. I'm sitting there getting beat down.
Also, why would Also, it didn't make any sense in kayfabe because why would they not attack the champions?
Yeah. But then we saw that on Dynamite, they did say something. Oh, yeah, they were just saying like they're going after everybody or something or some nonsense. But like you said, it still doesn't make sense. They didn't go after them.
The Young Bucks came, tried to act nice to them. They're now going against everyone, including you guys and stuff like that.
Then why did they go after them after they got their won those titles, after they retained the titles? That makes more sense.
So anyways, guys, the next match we got here is the Casino Gauntlet match for the AEW World, for a future AEW World Championship match. And the way, the way that one works is that, and no one liked this when they announced it, of the fan base or whatever. The way this works is that whoever gets the pin, that's it. It ends. Because basically it's kind of like the Royal Rumble where every couple of seconds a new guy comes in. But the thing is, if someone gets pinned, bam, the end. So you don't get to see like the full roster as you would with a Royal Rumble. So you had like about maybe 10 guys in the back that never got to appear.
Because have here, so.
Yeah, I didn't even know. See, I didn't even know that rule. I thought it was going like a normal gauntlet match, like the normal one they do. And then I didn't even know that when they announced the rules, I was like, the fuck? Because I thought at best what they should have done is TNA has a style match and they call it a call your shot gauntlet match. And how that works is it's over the top rope. You know, it starts with, I think 30 people come in like a battle royal, right?
Yeah.
And then when it comes down to the final 4 people, then once those 4 are eliminated down to 2, it has to be 2 remaining. It turns into a regular match. And it goes ding, ding, ding. And then the winner of that match gets a call your shot, which means they can literally cash it in for any belt they want, period. And women can enter, men can enter, whatever. And I'm like, that is what they should have done. That's what I thought they were doing. I was at first, and I was like, oh no, it's not that. I was so confused. Sorry. I was just really confused.
All right, so I want to read off because I have like I take some notes on
people.
Yeah,
okay, so we do have to mention Orange Cassidy's entrance.
Yes, the whole Mr. Bean entrance thing. I'm sorry, that just had me just all tickled. I was giggling because like I'm a Mr. Bean fan. I used to watch Mr. Bean. I have the DVD box set.
Yeah, Mr. Bean in Mexico too. So Johnny and I saw a couple episodes.
And I used to watch it regularly all the time back in the early 90s. But anyway, for this, and it worked because we all know he's some kind of alien or something. We don't know. But anyway, for this gauntlet match, it started off with Orange Cassidy was first. Next was Okada, which wasn't announced earlier. Then Nigel McGuinness showed up. He wasn't originally
because that kiss. He
just got apparently boners are strong. Then Cal O'Reilly, who was scheduled to be there. Then Zack Sabre Jr. shows up. He wasn't originally supposed to be there. Then we got Roderick Strong, then Mark Briscoe, then Adam Page, then Jeff Jarrett showed up, and Ricochet. I'm mad at you guys for predicting that. Because, Jeff Jarrett, Ricochet, they weren't on the list earlier. Christian showed up. And the last one to come in was Luchasaurus. And those who did not get the chance to come out were Evil Uno, Dustin Rhodes, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett.
And it was kind of funny because in their earlier match, they were saying about, what shape are these guys going to be in? Because you got to be in that gauntlet match later tonight. But that never happened. So anyway, the big thing is, when people watched the earlier match that had the patriarchy in it, Luchasaurus noticeably kind of stormed off. So people were kind of like, what's that about? That kind of thing. And when he appeared now, it was clear that he appeared under Luchasaurus, no longer being called Kill Switch. So everyone was like, oh, damn, he's finally going to. Yeah, and he kind of faced off against Christian, and he was going to choke him. But then he choked, I don't know who it was someone else. They choked him instead. And after he did that, it's kind of like, okay, he got in the way, but now it's your turn. But no, instead of actually slamming him, he picked up Christian and slammed him on top of the other guy to do the pin. 1, 2, 3. And Christian now has a title shot. And of course, everyone got whatever because they're expecting that this would have been Luchasaurus's big moment to finally break free and all the abuse and all the stuff.
And all the being ignored and the fact that even coming into the ring holding no titles, Mama Wayne gets to hold a title, Nick Wayne gets to hold a title, Christian gets to hold a title, Luchasaurus don't get a title.
Luchasaurus gets to lace his boots.
Yeah. But when that came, I was like, oh, look what's what happened. Oh, he's going to take something. What the hell?
that really was a worked everyone moment.
So that means that the other match, Christian and them, they're all working together. So he probably lost that on purpose, for this or whatever. I don't know, but who knows? As you said, he worked everyone.
Jack, you go ahead. I gotta get my thoughts together on this shit show.
Do you need an angry moment?
I will say one thing that it really did. Okay, first of all, the match itself, massive clusterfuck.
Yep.
Wrong person won.
Yep.
Putting that out of the way. Out of the way. Two things happened, and it literally warmed my heart. The fact that I got to see Nigel McGuinness back in the ring. And I mean, look, here's the thing. People don't understand how good Nigel was back in the day. He was, and literally, Sabre even said this. Nigel McGuinness was the best technical wrestler on the planet, ever, at one point. And even Bryan Danielson admitted that. He was better than him. And the thing of it is his injuries were so severe that no one ever thought he would wrestle again. Like, it was to Shibata levels, if not worse than Shibata. Because Shibata had a severe brain aneurysm that resulted in him immediately needing brain surgery. Nigel McGuinness, he destroyed his C1, C2, 3, and 4 vertebrae and suffered from 6 different concussions. So he literally was like, they were like, no fucking way can you ever wrestle again. So he had to retire back in 2011. So it was like, that's it. And then he goes, well, I'm going to become a traveling magician, and I'm also going to become a commentator. And everyone's like, well, that's kind of weird. But he's like, oh, fuck it. I still love wrestling, so I don't care. So, but he's in amazing shape. And I don't know. I hope he got surgery. I hope he got everything fixed. And I'm like, I was literally scared, but I was happy to see him in the ring again. And he did. It felt like he's not as good as he was, but he's good. And I'm like,
the kid
even a half night. Sorry, say it again. Sorry.
I was saying the kiss from Mariah May cured him of all injuries because don't underestimate the power of boners.
I said, and also at one point, Nigel was up against Zack Sabre in the ring. I noticed.
Yeah, and that was what's so crazy about that. So Sabre kept saying his dream opponent. He has 2 dream opponents. 3 dream opponents. He's always wanted to wrestle. For years, he's been saying this. The first one, he said, unfortunately, it will never happen, is Nigel McGuinness. And his second opponent, Shibata. And his third opponent, Bryan Danielson. So I'm like, and so far he's fought Danielson, he's fought Shibata, but he's never fought Nigel. And it's so crazy because they are the perfect technical British wrestlers. And I'm like, to see them in the ring together, it really was like, I know it's a weird comparison, but it felt like Rock Hogan for me as a technical wrestling fan. And I know it's not a big deal to a lot of other people, but to see Sabre, especially now that he has plateaued to the highest point where he's won the fucking G1, and like, I'm like, it's crazy to me. I'm like, man, so there is a possibility of this match happening. It made me really happy. That being said, for all of that hype, and I was so funny because you could hear the crowd go, what, about Nigel. It didn't help that he also had, which a lot of people may not have caught this, Nigel McGuinness's original, his ring entrance, his theme song, and he came out to it, was Oasis's song Fucking in the Bushes, because that was his original song. That's the name of the song. And so he actually came out to that. So I think a lot of people were like, half of them were like, oh my God, it's Nigel McGuinness. And the other half were like, holy shit, it's Oasis. So in England. So it was like kind of funny on that part. Second of all, you could tell the crowd loved the fact that you had two of the greatest British wrestlers of all time in the same ring in England. Like, that's cool. But for all of that hype, you had Ricochet, and it's like, Ricochet, and everyone's like,
Okay.
it's like, hooray! Like, because I literally said this to, I said this to Panda, I said this to DJF, the same thing, where I'm like, look, Ricochet, amazing, fantastic wrestler whose style was unique when he wrestled people who didn't do his style. But his style is like 70% of AEW's roster. He's going to get lost in the shuffle.
That's what I was saying. Hey, another flipsy doodle guy. But I thought it was
like,
interesting.
You do flip.
Like NXT.
You do flip. I do flip. You do flip. I do flip. It's like two hibachi chefs. We also flip onion. Yay! Like, that's all.
That was my that's how I felt. I mean, WWE and stuff, and like NXT and that song, I was like, whoa, that is like so cool. But yeah, in AEW, everybody else.
Yeah, because everyone copied Ricochet's style. Everyone in the indies copied Ricochet and Will Ospreay's style to the point where their style is no longer unique. It's boring.
Yeah. So like two things that have happened this year that were not on my dance card for 2024 was A, yes, Oasis actually getting back together, and B, Nigel McGuinness showing back up like ever. I don't know if he went to like the Adam Copeland School of Healing or whatever. But yeah, he looked in phenomenal shape. Like the first bump he took, I was looking at him going, because I was like scared shitless considering how much stuff he had already gone through. I mean, it was almost to the point that when he retired, it was like if somebody were to pluck him wrong, he would have been done. So to see him back was amazing. And then seeing him and Zack Sabre in the same ring, yeah, that's incredible. Now, Ricochet, don't get me wrong, I'm glad to see him there somewhat. And, you know, again, I talked to Jack about this. He's not even in it for the money. He's just doing it for the funsies. So, like, he's doing it for, you know, to wrestle Okada. He's doing it to get another Ricochet Ospreay 3. But he's in a land where his fighting style doesn't mean jack because everybody has that same fighting style. So, you know, he's not really going to diversify. He's going to get lost in the shuffle. So if he wants to have those fun matches, he needed to just, honestly, I wouldn't have signed a contract. I would have stayed independent, had my couple of matches real fun and quick, and then dipped right back out and went to Japan or the Indies or heck, even AAA, because I would love to see him go back. I don't care whether it says Ricochet or Las Pumas and go against Vikingo. That would be a ridiculously good match. But, you know, hey, that's just me. But overall, the match was, it was all right. It was all right.
Yeah, I didn't mind it so much, but you know, it was a little all over the place a bit for me. But
your thoughts, Johnny?
But it was all right.
Honestly, I don't really remember much about the match, to be honest. And I don't know, I didn't really care too much about it. I don't know what it is, but I just personally don't really feel too invested in Kyle O'Reilly. Like, it's just like, I don't know, it's just there for whatever reason.
What about the whole Luchasaurus fake out thing?
That was the only thing that stood out to me. Mainly.
Luchasaurus. Yeah, I really don't remember much about this match.
Oh, as mentioned, no one gets a point for this one, because the winner was technically Christian.